Welcome to PC24 RETV's episode for today. Today is an amazing day. It's raining a bit, but despite that, the temperatures are very nice. You can just walk around without any, warmer jackets. It's pretty pleasant out there. So enjoy while you can. Before we start the program, I would like to congratulate each and every one of those viewers who are celebrating their birthdays today, their anniversaries, they're moving into their new home, a birth of newborn in their families, or if someone has protected their income by taking a suitable insurance product so their loved ones are secured in case of any eventuality. Well, many congratulations to you all. Today we are going to have a busy day. We are going to be graced with the presence of a business development manager from OZ Capital. They are private lenders. He's a very busy guy, but he, obliged us by saying, okay, they will join the meeting today and share something about the company themselves and where the things are shifting. So stay tuned. We are expecting him around 11 o'clock. Life is completely unpredictable. I'm still sleepy. I'm mumbling over so many things. So something is not working right. My head seems to be somewhere else. Oh yes, today is my mom's birthday as well, and I'm thinking about her. She is in heavens, so I hope she is watching me and she is happy that we are doing good and we're carrying on her legacy. Parents are not easy to find once they are gone. You may keep looking for parents in other elders' eyes or in other elders' persona, but it doesn't replace your original, your biological parent. It is sad that nobody stays in this world forever. But anyways, those are personal things and I will keep them out of this channel. So let's welcome our brother, our friend Amrit Sura up on stage. Welcome
Good
Amrit.
morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm really well. Thank you so much.
Cool. Is
Hopefully,
there
you're
any
doing well.
update about housing market in your hood?
Well, certainly seeing a little bit of activity on some of the good listings out there. When I say good listings, I mean well priced. So buyer opportunity is definitely increasing. I'm seeing, maybe 10 or 15 sales per day that are happening in the marketplace. Um, is it challenging? Maybe because of the price points for some of the sellers. However, each situation differs because people people require the transitions, whether it's a job move or a downsize move or just a fiscal issue which they need to resolve.
Mhm.
So things are moving along as fine as they need to, and commercial leases are ongoing, so those opportunities are there if there's franchisees looking at spaces. What I'm seeing a good demand on is for American-based eateries that are coming into Canada to capture some of that market, because as we all know, regardless of market, people are going to go and eat. They're going to
Absolutely.
have, right?
And food has a very large profit margin.
Yes.
Many years someone
Especially,
told me that they sell water at 300% the cost. And that may be true.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, there's opportunities unfolding everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
We got the inflation report from US and it didn't soften as much as the economists were thinking. It just came
Mm,
down 0.1% from December. Against
okay.
6.5%, January inflation came down at 6.4. There are worries that increasing employment will push the inflation upwards. And when it happens, everything is going to go expensive again. Not only that, they're saying it may even go into double digit. God forbid that shouldn't happen. It will be a very dangerous situation, because now with more jobs, price growth in the wages has been kind of softened, because more people, less demanding employees for higher wages. It's
Hmm.
only when employees see that, oh, the employers have a greater demand for employees, so let's ask for more money. But now with 150,000 jobs added in January, so that thing is not working the way many would have thought. So when manufacturing cost rises, the cost of goods is going to rise, and that brings inflation up. So I wonder if January is a kind of alert sign or what it is, because 6.5 then 6.4 in January doesn't make a big difference to me.
Yeah, I think also we've got to let the time factor really kick in, because in 1 month, how do we realize the impact when normally, if you're balancing your books or doing your tax calculations, it's every quarter, right? So let's be, I think in one sense, it went down 0.1%, as you're saying.
Yes.
Maybe there will be some substantial changes in the next couple months. So it took 6 months over here, a good part of 6 months, from 8.1, and Canada is here at 6.3 at the present time. Correct?
Yeah.
So we won't realize until there's some time given, right? I think. Um, yes, the economists and the people who are working the numbers are quite methodical, seeing the signs, but um, I think time is needed.
While time is needed, two things are happening at the same time. The effect of higher rates have still not been felt 100%. A,
Hmm.
and second, like you say, the inflation. So inflation they do every month because they have a fixed basket, and these days they make some changes to the basket so that the CPI is quite representative and takes into consideration those items that matter the most. Like the food inflation is still elevated at 10.1%, right? And the energy CPI picked up to 8.7% because gasoline prices went up. So if you remove these two components, the core inflation, it sticks slightly lower to 5.6%, which is 5.6% over the year. And actually, from the last month, it came down 0.4%. So this is core inflation. It takes out the highly volatile items like food and energy. So they removed it, and this is where it is. And they say CPI for car insurance and apparel also posted larger monthly increase in January. They really track many items these days, Amrit. And this is what
Hmm.
they keep watching. Is something happening? Is something working in favor of economy, not in favor of people, in favor of economy? Because their goal is to bring the inflation numbers down to between 2 to 3%. And I don't think this is happening this year or next year. Unless this happens, we will be struggling with higher cost and less affordability. I like to have the positive mindset, but I just want to give the fact for fact.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you're correct in that sense. The reality of it is, the impact has not been realized at the present time. If it
Hmm.
takes a little bit longer, People have to sort of tighten their belts and push through. Um,
Yes.
look at different countries where inflation rate is, double digits. Uh,
Yeah.
life still goes on, right?
Yeah,
Life
life will
still,
never stop. Rain or shine, we keep living. So
yeah.
that's true. That is for sure. But it also says one fact that we cannot overlook is that inflation in US and in Canada is definitely coming down. It's softening.
Mhm.
That is the bottom line, right? Even if it
Yeah.
came 0.1% down, it still came down 0.1% down. Let me put on some lipstick.
Better for, yeah, with the cold weather, I think it's required, right?
Yeah, the lips go dry,
Yeah.
and then I just get reminded that I have to put this on. It's again from one private lender, 8T12, free
Oh, right.
chipsticks.
Chopsticks, yeah. It's a good reminder, and when you're putting it on, oh, that guy.
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely. But I haven't given them any business so far. So, anyways, inflations in Canada will be announced on 8th March, which is about 13 plus 7, 20 days away. Then we'll find out where we are. No, I think it is 21st. Sorry, not 8 March, 21st of this month, which is 6 days away. So 6 days away will be the CPI announcement for Canada. We'll figure out if we have come down from 6.3 or not. But and the 8th March is the announcement date for the policy rate by Bank of Canada. So which is about 20 days away. So we are going to see how things are going to mold themselves. But Bank of Canada doesn't like employment, Amrit. They want people to be unemployed and begging for money. How
Was
cool is that?
a bit of a double-edged sword. I mean, the people that are filling their coffers are not being supported at the present time. So it'll be a hard knock to see the ramifications of the the complexity they're creating. It's
Hmm.
uh, let's see what happens. I mean, I'm like yourself. I'm a positive guy, and try to encourage my clients into making the right decision, and not putting themselves in a cash crisis, right? So
Yes,
yes,
that is
real
for
estate is
sure.
is is it's definitely a hopping and a moving industry to get involved with, whether you're a investor or a first-time home buyer, whatever it is. I think the steps that you need to take have kind of increased in the sense, how do we prepare ourselves well enough
Hmm.
so we're not cutting out on some of the things that we find essential, right?
Hmm.
Um, you're not gonna stop subscribing to internet. Um, that's for sure. You're not going to stop bringing breakfast cereals for your kids. So having a really good think about the needed items. I think a lot of self analysis is being done. I think over the globe, everyone's kind of saying, "All right, well, let's have a look at where we can sort of stop the spending. You don't want to have a boat with a hole in it. Plug the holes, you know. Don't
Hmm.
be too fast to type in your credit card details on that little item that popped up on the Facebook feed. So those kind of things. It's definitely, uh, I think less is more at the present time. Less is more.
Yeah, well, there is
Um,
no other option. You
mhm.
have to. adjust your lifestyle to less. Even if you want to make more money, you don't find avenues where you can expand. Everything is so closed. In
Mm.
Toronto, a very old family business, some diner restaurant, is closing end of this month.
Oh, oh, good
And
Lord.
Toronto feels this is a big blow to Toronto's culture. Like this is family owned, and people loved going there. So they are closing, and you see how much struggle businesses have these days. It's not only individuals, because when individuals don't shop, businesses are going to suffer. Many
Hmm.
businesses which are directly or indirectly connected with housing, they have been severely hit, very severely hit. Because if you won't buy a house, you won't give employment to hundreds of other trades. It's a big chain, right? It when you close a property, a chain reaction begins. Like home inspectors, then home inspector need their own gadgets, so they keep upgrading. They have to upgrade their knowledge. So if they get business, they improve themselves. If you get a handyman at your place to do some renovation, then you will buy material. That materials comes from some suppliers. So that supplier gets material from some other wholesaler. So this chain goes long and long. It never ends. So just one house can stimulate more than 100 employment, just one purchase. So those houses, those industries are getting severely hit. Here in
I'm sure.
GTA, Toronto Regional Real Estate Board issued an outlook saying we are going to see better pricing after first half of this year. They say first half will be replicating the last months, but then things will be better. Price is not going to go up, and even the listings will be lesser, right? They say there will be total of 70,000 sales this year in 2023, which will be below 22 results. But they say that things will be better. I guess your camera has been turned off. Okay,
I,
you're back.
so I don't know what happened there.
I
So
didn't do
yeah,
anything.
I think in the aspect of the ripple effect on one purchase on impact to community, it's so massive, like you have explained. Um, Different industries being affected. So the government obviously realizes this, the major impact. Every industry involved is going to be impacted in a substantial way, and
Yes,
if they if they if they tighten themselves, they will impact it so much that things start to improve on the inflation rate.
mm-hmm.
But it's a double-edged sword because where's the revenue coming now from
Yeah,
for the government, right? So they're going to have a quick realization that okay, some of these things need to be addressed very quickly because
absolutely.
there's nothing in the coffers.
Mm-hmm.
So um, it's a tough I mean, it's a conundrum really
Mm-hmm.
to be trying to balance everything, but taking the major source and bringing it to its knees isn't the answer. Now,
Yeah,
with the fact that they've said no more foreign buyers for the next 2 years.
yeah.
How's
So
that?
Canadians could
However,
afford houses.
yeah, but no, that doesn't help because now they've just given the opportunity for the foreign buyers to the exemptions. So multiplexes can be bought by foreign buyers.
Yes, commercials can be bought, multiplexes
Yeah.
can be bought. It's only that up to 3 units they cannot buy, and the
Mm.
penalty is on realtors. if you let that happen under your watch. None
Yeah.
else is responsible. And they also say, TREB Outlook says, there will be an average price of 1,014,000, which is again lesser than last year. So it will also go down. So buying intentions are very up. Ipsos did a poll with some people. They always do those kinds of polls, and
Mm.
the polls suggested that more than 38%, 41, give me 1 second. Let me pull up the report again. I just missed it. So they say 2023 was up. I don't have the numbers on this report, but maybe they had a digital report as well. I wonder if I missed it. On that report, they clearly indicated that there are, I think, 41% people who say that they want to buy their house. But how good is that if they cannot afford? And out of that, 63% say it is very challenging to qualify for the mortgage. So even if you say 60% people want to buy, does that make any sense? I want to buy, but I can't qualify. So I don't know what those things mean here, that, people want to buy. Is this a bigger number that we should be looking at? I don't think so. I should be concerned with the number of sales that are going to be affected, not how many people want to buy. 100% people want to buy a house this
Yeah.
year. But if 80% cannot qualify, that brings us to 20% net effect.
Correct.
So they just try to give information that kind of is confusing, and it's a tricky situation. So there are lies, damn lies, and statistics.
So that's right. The numbers fool you, right?
The number fools there. At the same time, Ipsos ran research for global media where they figured out that one person out of four in Canada is cash stripped. They don't have money in their bank account. So with 25% not having any cash, and many people, I would say those who have mortgages, variable mortgages, even if I give them 60%, they think that they will not survive with these kinds of payment by more than 8 to 10 months. So, and then we are also reading the reports which say that inflation is coming to us. I don't understand how TREB has come up with this outlook. I'm really confused with this. 70,000 is a good number of sales. Actually, last year was a bit higher, but 70,000 is still a great number. And this is where we all get confused. Oh, I see Jesse Town. He's here in a camera. Jesse, I will let you in very soon.
Thanks,
So
Paul. I appreciate it.
No problem. So when these things are so contradictory, I really don't know which report to believe and which not to believe. Things are so confusing. I will take a quick break, and then we'll have Jesse Town with us, Amrit.
Okay. Perfect.
Are you looking for a reliable legal office that can handle your closing in the most effective manner? If yes, please get in touch with Rakesh Joshi at 416-213-8600. Joshi Law Office provides all the legal advices about real estate law, business law, immigration laws, notarization and affidavits, wills and trust. Give them a call today, 416-213-8600. Are you looking for reliable immigration services? If yes, contact Sukhi Paul at 647-296-4575 or office phone number 905-790-8877. They are located at 219 220 at 7956 Torban Road. It's right at the intersection of Torban Road and Steeles Avenue West. Contact them for all kind of visa services. Are you the breadwinner for your family? Have you ever considered if something were to happen to you, what would happen to your wife, to your children, to your parents? If not, this is the time to call Kamaljeet Bhola at 647 772 1481. She is an amazing insurance advisor working with Beyond Care Insurance Solutions in Brampton, Ontario. Find out what best you can do your family while you can. Do not put this thing off till tomorrow. This could be very, very critical for your family's future. Are you thinking of a career change or adding another one to your portfolio? Well, you are thinking right. Call Sarabjit Luddar at 416-879-3039 from Beyond Care Insurance Solutions. She also deals in life, long-term, travel, critical illness, disability insurance. Give her a call today at 416-879-3039. This is what we can tell you. She will always give you the right advice and help you find out if being an insurance advisor is your piece of cake. Are you thinking to sell your home and are concerned about depreciating values? Don't be. You are in safe hands with Paul Chima. Call me at 647-333-2273. I ensure safety of your home with electronic lock boxes. Nobody can enter your house without permission from our brokerage, and we provide full detail if needed at any point in time. Once again, Paul Chima, 647-333-2273. Better call Paul and get moving. Do you want to shop right without burning your pockets? If yes, please visit Monisha Discount Warehouse at 377 Burnhamthorpe Road, East Mississauga, Ontario. They are the best. They have all kind of Indian, Pakistani and other local stuff that you can buy at literally throwaway prices. Contact them at 905-361-0773. Monisha Discount Warehouse. D.P. Jain is a well-known name in the fields of accounting. You can contact him today at his cell number 416-305-0080 or his office number 905-790-9327. Once you start working with him, you will never want to leave him. He is 5-star professional. Call him today. D.P. Jain Professional Corporation. PC24 RETV is heard over so many different channels. If you want to promote your business for free, call me at 647-333-2273. You can also send your artwork to contact@paulchima.com. We are here to be partners in your business success. Welcome back to PC24's remaining session today. It's an amazing day, as I said. Today we are graced with the presence of a BDM from a leading private lender. The name is Jesse Town. So let's bring him up on screen and start questioning him. What's a private mortgage and all those things. Hey Jesse, thank you very much for being here, brother.
Thank you, Paul. It's my honor. I appreciate you having me on the show. I hope I didn't ambush Amrit and slow down his role, so I apologize for that. But
no, he's still around. He won't leave.
Excellent. Good. I was hoping he was watching, so this is good.
He is here. He won't leave. I have to change the set because he got up from his chair. He's not there. I don't want to show empty chair.
I totally understand.
Yeah, no worries. So who is Jesse Town?
Okay, yeah, no, I'll get right into it, give you a little bit of background about who I am and
Hmm.
where I come from and kind of how I got here, because I think that, all of us that are in this industry, it's everybody has a story. And for myself, the way that I did is I was coming out of TV broadcast, funny enough. I was working for Sportsnet and I had an
Oh, really?
opportunity yes, absolutely. Yeah. So my goal
Amazing.
was to be doing this type of thing down the road, but it's not exactly conducive to having a family. I met my ex-spouse. We started a family. I was working some pretty crazy hours there, and I had an opportunity to join into the mortgage industry at that point as an assistant to a principal broker for one of the other brands. Learned the business from the ground up. Had no idea what I was doing when I came in.
Hmm.
Spent about 5 years doing that. Went to work for one of the institutions, which was I went to BMO for a while. Came back to broker world for another little bit, where I got a chance to do some underwriting stuff. Did leave that again and went back to institution and went to TD. Eventually worked for another brokerage, Safebridge Financial, for quite a while, which was a really awesome time to get to learn the ins and outs of the brokering side.
Hmm.
Eventually, I would leave there and go to work for Home Equity Bank on the inside sales side, selling reverse mortgages and getting a chance to understand that type of business. So trying to really diversify the facets of the industry that I could really try to understand everything about what I was selling. Um,
Yeah.
from that point, I fell into what I really loved, which was being a BDM. I was a BDM with NPX, with the American Lendwise brand for a while,
Hmm.
and then left there to go into the private side and work for OZ Capital. So it's kind of what's brought me here at this point. And like I said, this is what I really truly love to do. This is where I think I've found my space in this industry and what I do best for our partners. I'm an advocate for our partners, our brokers and agents that work on the brokerage side, and then as well as for my investors and for my brand and for my team over at Oz Capital.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a roller coaster ride you have in your career, like from a broadcaster all the way to this role. And now I don't have to tell you anything. So you already are comfortable with the platform.
The beauty of what I do is I learn something new every day.
Hmm.
That's what I think I truly appreciate about being in this side of the business is when you're meeting so many great people that do what they do on their side. And I have the utmost respect for all the brokers and agents out there that are really putting in the time, energy, and effort to create value for their clients, and drive this industry forward in a positive light. You get a chance to know more about their business, more about who they are, where they come from, and really what makes them successful. So for that, I do get that opportunity to be able to learn every day something new, and I think that's the true value in what I do.
Absolutely. So Amrit Sura joins me every Wednesday. He lives and works in Abbotsford, BC. Amrit,
Ah, very
Jesse
nice.
is a business development manager with OZ, one of a good friend, and his company. I will let him explain. I won't say anything about that right now. I don't want to steal the show. It is Jesse's show, and let Jesse run it. So Jesse, tell us about your OZ Capital, and you already
So
told us how
yeah,
you transitioned here.
yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, I came about with them at a very opportune time. So they've been lending since 2014. They were in a growth phase. They had gotten to the point where it was time to really start pushing the brand out a little bit more aggressively. And they approached me to come aboard and be a part of the fantastic team and start to drive, like I said, that brand into a different space than it had been to in the past. We were at that point when I came aboard, we were around $30 million lenders. In the past 3 years or so, we've grown to be $100 million lenders. So we have seen that tremendous growth in what it is we do. I think a lot of that has come with the fact that we've delivered on our mission statement and our promises to the industry and what we do and how we do it.
Yeah.
That in itself, I think, has been the real success to Oz Capital and building something that's truly special.
Yeah. So when you say OZ Capital, is there some mystery behind this name OZ? I always think about
Well,
that. Why OZ? What's there? What's behind this name?
funny story. When I first sat down with the guys, and I was like, "Oh, this is great, Oz Capital." A lot of people will equate this maybe to being like the Wizard of Oz, like the
Yeah.
great movie, and that follow the yellow brick road to your financing, or there's no place like home, which is always very relatable to the mortgage business. But in fact, that wasn't the case. My two principals that I work with directly and deal with our investors every single day are Oleg Schiller and Zvika Schluper. So you have the O in Oleg and you have the Z in Zvika, and that makes up Oz Capital. So
Okay.
although it could be referred to as Oz in a Wizard of Oz capacity, it is primarily done as OZ Capital with Oleg and Zvika. So that's kind of the background there. But it is an interesting story because I was like, this is a great way to market this business. This makes all the sense in the world. We're going to, create this relationship. At the same time, you have to be very cautious with copyright rights and putting
Yes.
yourself in a position of marketing yourself a certain way that you need permissions in order to do so. So we've been very cautious in the way that we do that, but there is a correlational relationship there that I think helps us drive the brand forward. Oz is a very memorable name. It's very
Hmm.
simple, very straightforward, short, to the point, and I think that also details a little bit about how we do our job.
I like your tagline, built by brokers for brokers, which is cool. So there are
We
so many
started, yeah.
private lenders these days. Industry is full of them because uh, this year, last year, when I say sorry, last year, my mind is still not wrapping around 2023. I'm still in 2022. So last
You and
year,
me both.
yeah, private lender increased. The share of private lending also increased. So many people are thinking, oh, this is a lucrative side. So we see rise of many other companies as well. So what separates OZ Capital from all those private lenders?
It really is tough, right? When you are dealing with such a large amount of folks getting into this side of the business, being able to separate yourself from that pack and really prove who you are as a brand in relation to
Yes.
everybody else that's out there doing what you're doing. Um, we have done so by being primarily, first of all, transparent to the point where I think when you look at your growth, when you look at your reputation, when you look at your ethics and morals as a company, being able to be transparent from point A to point Z
Hmm.
is uh, so important to driving
Yes.
the understanding of who you are as a brand. So, especially as a lender when you're dealing with money. So, first and foremost, and I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel here, right? We
Hmm.
wanted to make sure that when we stood out there against our competitors and our compatriots, I like to prefer them as like I said, compatriots beyond
Yes.
being competitors, just because there's so many amazing people that do what we do. I
Agree.
think that we just do it one step better than a lot of the folks that are out there right now. And first of all, that starts with the transparency side. We have also been able to make sure that obviously within the private space, moving quickly is one of the
Hmm.
things that you have to be able to do, to pivot and be agile and ready to move at a moment's notice, to pick up the pieces, to help a client, to come up with solutions, to be that leader in being there when your clients need you. I think that has been another big piece to what we do. There is a lot of financing in the GTA. And it's not that we don't love GTA business. We love GTA business and we will fight for it, just like anybody else.
Yes.
But we also decided that we would build an appetite outside of the greater Toronto area and try and expand our operations to include locations like London, Kitchener, Waterloo, Guelph, Barrie, Orillia, Ottawa, Kingston, Belleville, Peterborough, all these other markets outside of the GTA where there was a little bit of a lesser presence for other private lending options out there. And at the same time, we love cottage country. So we do a lot of stuff
Okay.
that is in the Gravenhurst or the Bracebridges or Wasagas or Muskokas, Kawarthas, that area that's just above the GTA where everybody likes to kind of go in the summertime and enjoy their summer vacations. So that has been another big piece of what we've been doing. Again, I'm going to go back to the agile side as well. because we're a small company, a total of 6 people altogether. We have, my 2 principals, Oleg and Zvika. We have my senior manager of underwriting, Jeff Bauer, and then we have 2 office staff, Lilia and Rosemary, that do a phenomenal job for us on the back end. We are agile in the terms that when we need to have something come together or we need to step up to the plate and get things done, it doesn't take a number of channels to go through in order to make sure that that happens. We just need to pick up the phone, touch base with someone, and they will take the ball and run with it, which really I think was another huge benefit and bonus to me coming aboard with this team. I've been to other teams where it did take more time. It did take less ability to turn things around at a faster pace to be able to get change to happen. And for, when it comes to change, when it comes to solution providing, being able to be nimble and make those things happen fast has always been something that separates you from a lot of the others. On
Absolutely.
a fee structure side, I think that because, again, when we talk about transparency, it's key for us to make sure that as a lender that does not charge any upfront fees, application, underwriting, or wire transfer fees, our discharges on the back end are simple, they're straightforward. It's $4.99 for a statement and standard legal deregistration. Your client coming in, signing those documents when they may be apprehensive because they're dealing in the private space, I think we provide that comfort back to them with that clarity, right?
Yeah.
Being able to be that transparent and a 7-8 page commitment that defines everything the client's going to need to know throughout the process, from start to finish. That is one of the things I think we really have a strength in. Now, and I'll lean on this one as well, because I think this is important in the private side. When you look at the cost of doing business, we always like to try to put our clients into a product that has an open option. So whether that is one of our 2 terms, our 6-month fully open term, or a 1-year term with 6 months closed and 6 months open behind it, as long as we are working together with the broker and agent and their client to understand what that exit strategy truly is, then we're able to tailor the term to work for the client, so that when they do exit out, because they're paying a fee up front with that lending fee, we do not want to put them in position to have to pay a penalty to exit out of a product like this. This is a transitional product. This gets your client from A to B to or from C to B to A, really, right?
Yes.
If you want to talk the levels of banking. So we want to be able to help them get to that point, be successful in what their goals are, in order to either get, like I said, back to institutional lending, or whether it even means, having to or wanting to sell that home as an asset. We want to be able to do that in a way that is the least stress to the client along the way financially. So providing those options and being able to be, creative in the way that we build out our product to work with the client is super important to what we do along the way.
Very right.
All in all, it is about, a lot of things. Communication is key. Picking up the phone, having someone who is in that role like myself that commits to my partners by saying, doesn't matter the time of day, doesn't matter the day of the week, call me, text me, email me, I will get back to you immediately. It's one of the things I take great pride in my role, is being, that advocate.
I didn't do anything.
Well, we got you back.
Blame it on the US.
So, I mean, it's interesting to see how...
Let's always blame it on the US.
It's really quite interesting to see how, the forward-thinking approach has enabled people to get, and then what you iterated there was get from C to B to A, and really get that confidence level for the people to move forward, as opposed to sitting on the fence. So great option for people out there, hey?
Absolutely. Private mortgages are just a solution. They're quick, they're fastest, and they don't require too much documentations to approve. Sometimes people need Tim Horton experience, and this is where Tim Horton's experience comes in. Like Jesse said, communication is the key, and I can testify to that. I call Jesse, he picks up phone right away. This is my personal experience. Things are like that. This is how one private brokerage, yeah, more private lending company excels against other companies in the marketplace. Many people are tempted to group together, add some capital to it, and then start lending, thinking of making a quick buck. But this
Hmm.
requires a really long-term planning, a vision, and a mission statement. Otherwise, businesses don't succeed.
Right. Right.
One of the other
How?
keys that I'm just going to touch on that you kind of went towards is education, right?
Yes,
Our partners are there to learn from us. If we are able to help them understand the private lending sector as well as they need to use it as an effective tool in their toolbox
yeah,
when they are dealing with their clients as a solution, that's one of the keys to what I think is very important in our roles as BDMs is to be able to educate as much as advocate. So that's one of the things that I wanted to just kind of throw in there that I know that um, again there's other people that do what I do, and I respect
yes,
and appreciate 100% what they do as well, and they do phenomenal jobs for their lenders. For us, I know what I do on my side. I know what I can commit to. I know how Oz Capital behind me has my back in pushing our brand forward, and how they're also committed to the education piece in growing this business as strong as possible. And again, that differentiation factor of dealing with a reputable, transparent, dependable private lender is out there, because you do, and I mean, it is an industry where you can fall into the wrong hands, and that
yeah.
can be, a situation that can cause pain and grief. And that is the one thing that we really try to avoid here.
Thank you very much, Jesse. So, market has been shifting and will keep shifting. It's a very dramatic market. Like Toronto Regional Real Estate Board has come up with an outlook. You might have read that. And they are saying 70,000 new sales will be happening in 2023 in the second half. At the same time, we are hearing about recession hitting us in second half. So I don't know which one to believe. If a recession hits, how can there be 70,000 sales? Will those may be like distress sales then? There are people who don't
Real
have
like
cash to keep paying the mortgages. They are cash stripped. Like Ipsos ran a study for global media where they found out that 1 in 4 Canadian is cash stripped. They don't have money. And at the same time, with variable rates, more than 80% of those people going past their trigger rate, they can barely survive 8 to 10 months if the trend continues and we keep feeling the effect. So I believe O's Capital may also be feeling some challenges which they have never experienced before. So how are you evolving in that?
Excellent question. And it's funny, I read the same report. In 2021, there was, I think, over 121,000 sales in the GTA
Yes, they
and
were.
surrounding, and then 76,000 last year. So we saw that
Yes.
significant drop off in the second half. And exactly what you're saying, the projection coming up for now 70,000 in 2023, which obviously is a significant decrease in the amount of inventory that is
Yep.
out there right now for home buyers to go out and purchase what they need to. So I hear you. I read that same article and I found those numbers to be striking. We started seeing things change again around July of last year when we started to see rates start to push up aggressively. Things in the industry did change somewhat. There was a rush towards private capital in order to
Mm-hmm.
get files done, because really we were seeing institutional lenders back away from the table and divest themselves of some of their real estate holdings or their real estate product. And that put clients in a position where they had to go into this realm in order to get things done. So we were seeing A and B business fall into our laps on a wide scale, where it was all private lenders were now extremely busy trying to accommodate the rush that we were
Mm-hmm.
seeing. So what this did was see a rush on investors' capital that was available to lend, and lenders started to back away from the table, either temporarily or they were rejigging the way that they wanted to build out their lending criteria, because obviously at that point we started to see that there was some troubled waters on ahead.
Yes.
And when you're dealing with your own private investors, as we are, we have our direct investing channel, and then we have a MIC. We actually operate both sides of the channel in-house. But when you're dealing with your investors' capital, and that is your most important resource as a lender to be able to create opportunity for your clients to generate solutions, that becomes something that requires some very careful and cautious forethought. So what we started to see is as that capital started to deplete in our industry on a wide scale basis and lenders were backing away from the table, it was those that took a more cautious, conservative approach to what they were going to be doing going forward by rejigging again their policy and their guidelines to fit the potential progression of where we saw things would be going over time. So for us, we needed to scale back our loan to values, where in the first half of the year, loan to values were aggressive and lenders were pushing a lot of capital out to market, and clients were out there really purchasing as quickly as they could to negate the effect of higher interest rates that would be coming. And that gap of when we went from one side of having low interest rates to seeing an aggressive increase in interest rates with the BOC, that created, like I said, what I like to call a throttling. So where you would get on the gas and you'd have to get on the brake and you'd have to manage what you were doing. Now, this affected a lot of lenders in a negative aspect. And we're seeing that now, especially when it's come time for a lot of these mortgages now to renew.
Yes.
Without having that available capital, and the only way you attain that available capital is to go out and get more investors or have your current investors invest more into the marketplace, which in this type of market rate environment can be a tough ask of them, knowing that there is risk that they need to mitigate out of their investments in order to feel comfortable with what they're investing in. So for us, we scaled back our loan to values where we had been 80% lenders at the height of the market. We pushed back to 70 as quickly as we could, because we knew that that was going to be what would save ourselves and our business,
and your
so
investors,
that we could continue to, right, and our investors' capital, so that we could grow in the future, right? Because without that foresight and that projection and saying, okay, you know, is this the hard thing for us to do? Absolutely. But is this the right thing to do? Also, absolutely. This is what is going to put us in a better situation. So with that, we've seen very little default on our books. Have we seen a little bit more than normal? Absolutely. But that just states to the fact that consumers right now are facing challenges meeting their monthly obligations. And that is hard on them. And
so I believe, sorry, I cut you. Please continue.
Well, I was just saying that and I mean, this is a tough word to kind of throw into lending, because when you talk about lending, it's generally a black or white type of situation. There is a lot of gray area in there, but we truly do care about our brokers and agents. We care about their clients. We do not want to see them in a situation where they are losing their homes or being pushed into a forced sale situation. So we have worked very diligently to ensure that we have been there for our clients all along the way. And it takes a lot more time and effort and energy to do so, but that's our commitment as our brand, to be able to be there for our brokers and agents, their clients, so that they don't sit there in a situation where panic creeps in and the worst case scenario takes effect. So I think that, you know, when we talked about the differentiation between one lender to the next, one of the things that's very tough to quote unquote monetize is care. That's something we do extremely well. We care a lot about every single file we have on our books, and we want to see everyone succeed. We can't do that in every situation, bottom line, because really it takes two. That communication piece becomes really even more key at this stage than it does in the initial stage of getting something set up, because we have to be honest with each other. We have to make sure that there is a plan, that there is some sort of solution that will come about to put these people into a better situation. So that has been key. The ability to renew our files, which we've seen a significant increase in renewals versus what we call redemptions, when mortgages get discharged and paid back to the company so that the investor can re-lend that money back out on a new file. We've seen a heavy increase on that side over the last little bit. And with that, there has been some lenders that haven't had the mobility to be able to produce that opportunity back out to the client. and instead have put them in a position where they have to go looking for alternative financing through another private lender in order to pick up the slack on their current private because it's not being renewed. Another big piece of that care piece that I was talking about. We want to be there to help, and we want to pick up the pieces for others, but we're also not going to put our current clients in a situation where everything falls apart.
Yeah, very nice. That's fair. So I guess none of your mortgages are above the current market value of the properties, looking at your conservative approach right from the beginning when you scaled back your loan to value ratios. Because there are, I think when private lenders started scaling back their LTVs, many individual private lenders kicked into the market. They came in taking risk, and some are, I think, their loans are above the appraised value of the property at this point, and they cannot exit because they have nothing. The collateral is not worth the amount of cash they already invested in the property. So there are other dynamics to private lending as well. But who knew that March, April 22 will be a beginning of a very sagging housing market, and that at such a speed that it took everyone was surprised. If I say it was just like an earthquake recently Turkey and Syria felt, I think they're kind of similar. Many people got so distraught with what happened over such a short span of time.
Ultimately, though, I don't want to perceive to most that there is doom and gloom out there. The immigration numbers that we're seeing, to 431,000 people that hit our shores last year, the 1.4 million people that will be coming to Canada to enjoy what Canada has to offer over the next 3 years. As much as there is so much data out there and so many different stories leading from one side of the market to the other side of the market, we have to be really cautious in what we actually glean from that data and take as fact. There's so many things that can happen from this point, but the fact is that our country has set us up in a position that we should be able to push through this mild recession that they're projecting and get to the other side where things will be even better than they were before. So I have a feeling that, although the numbers are coming out and there's studies being positioned right now in the marketplace and in the media, we have to be really cautious to translate and interpret that data appropriately and accordingly so that it is an accurate representation of what we'll really perceive going forward. Nobody is Nostradamus. Nobody is a prognosticator that knows everything about what will happen in this
absolutely
market.
not.
Will we see? There's challenges, absolutely. But at the same time, through challenge breeds opportunity. And it just means that as brokers and agents out there trying to, again, find solutions for their clients, this is when the brokers and agents are truly earning their value. And for the clients that are out there that might be watching, having a broker or agent working for you, a professional that does this on a daily basis, their value is immense in this type of marketplace. And it really begs the question, why walk right into your bank and not get that professional advice that potentially may not give you all the solutions available, instead of reaching out to someone who does this every day, works for upwards of 85 different lending options throughout the mortgage space to find you the correct solution. You guys are earning your money right now.
What I believe, it's time for us to close the program. What I believe, Jesse, no one should base their decision based off only one set of data. Like just TREB report. You cannot think things are going to improve or go bad. You have to look that data in combination with maybe economic outlook by major banks. RBC does economic outlook every other day. Then there is Canadian Mortgage Trends that does amazing work compiling all data from different sources, presenting in one report. Then that takes you everywhere. So you have to study all data before finally basing your decision. And I really hope people make intelligent choices. Our program is designed to impart knowledge, education, without asking for your business. What else we can provide that is better than this? I think we are so proud to be sharing our knowledge. Jesse Town came to a broadcast. Jesse, thank you very much for your invaluable time. I know how busy you are. And Amrit, thank you very much, brother. You guys have
Guys,
final words to say, then we'll be ending the program.
yeah,
Jesse,
like
you go
Guys,
first.
thank you so much.
yeah, like Jesse said, I mean, they're providing a great solution for yes, they're trying times, and we must look that there is light at the end of the tunnel. So having out of the box
How long is the
situation,
tunnel?
well, the tunnel is as long as you
It
want it to
goes all
be.
the way to US.
Right. But yeah, I think that's a great synopsis. Having solutions available
Yeah,
for any condition, right? So
absolutely.
great meeting you, Jesse. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, feel free. Jesse might land in BC as well. You know, they go everywhere where the money is and where they can help.
Right now, we're just Ontario, but hopefully one day, Amrit, we will be out there working with you as well.
Absolutely. So
Fantastic.
before we end the program, I would like to offer my deepest condolences to the families of those who have lost a beloved one on this day. So life is one way the travel. You don't have U-turns there. So from birth to end, we understand that this is how it is going to go. But emotional ties are difficult to break, and that's what brings so much pain. And I pray to God that your beloved ones rest in peace and you get over this shock with God's grace as soon as possible and carry on with the legacy they left behind. Thank you very much for being here. PG24 RETV is broadcast over YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and feel free to reach out to us using our studio lines 647-800-1518 and 647-956-1020. We'll take your leave now. Thank you very much for watching.